This is a Suboptimal podcast. Check out our suboptimal content at suboptimal.co.
All right.
Was that the sound? Are we recording?
That was me hitting the start recording button, but you got to give it a second.
Oh, I gotta give it a second. How about now? Can I do an intro?
Sure,
Is
go
that
ahead.
Like a little boop with like a pause? Like, is that what we were doing?
Hi, everybody. Welcome to 2.5 Weebs episode. What episode are we on? 16?
17. This is 17.
17. We're watching Fairy Gone, which is definitely not the exact same show as JoJo's Bizarre Adventure.
Mm-hmm. Is it actually though? Like, is it super similar?
I'll explain that in a bit after we go through some of the episodes.
Okay. All right.
But who's only half a Weeb? That would be Mr. Vengeance over here, Dale.
Hi, I am the Weeblet, or half of Weeb.
Yeah. But so basically,
We
last
really do
week,
like the term weeblet.
Who
Weeblet is a
crowned
good
that?
one.
Who came up with
I
that?
forget. Somebody posted it in one of the chats, and we decided that it will stay forever.
Yeah.
Basically, last week we decided that instead of doing our prescribed 3 episodes of a new series and 1 episode of an ongoing series, we would be dropping our current ongoing series, which was Senko, which was a garbage pile, which was
It was
just not
terrible.
a good show.
It was the worst shit.
It showed promise once, and we gave them an inch, and they took a mile.
Yeah.
Like,
It's so bad.
So we dropped that, and we decided that we're going to be moving on. We're going to be watching Fairy Gone week to week, which means that we need to catch up on it. So this week we watched 7 episodes of Fairy Gone,
Mm-hmm.
and we're here to talk about that and that experience and what we thought of the show for the beginning.
Also,
portion of the podcast.
episode number 8 technically launched like 2 hours ago in real time.
Mhm.
So that might kind of like
do it.
make it seem kind of weird, but considering we wouldn't have had time to watch that show, we're just doing the first 7. We're gonna start keeping up with this one every week.
Mhm.
It'll basically replace Kitsune.
Yes, thank God.
Yeah.
And anything else. Hey, really quick, before we deep dive into it, general impressions, yay or nay?
For this show,
It's okay. It's not
I'm
bad.
very nay, actually. Like, this show just didn't catch me as a general impression.
You know, funny enough, I feel like I was constantly like flipping a coin while watching it on whether I liked it or not,
right.
because
Yeah.
there were a lot of points that I like watched it and I was like, that animation was really smooth and that looked really good and I like the way these stories are coming together. But then there's so much else that it's like these characters are wasted. This animation just makes everyone look smooth so that when they put 3D CG in for the fairies, that it's not as big of a deal.
That's
Which,
probably the reason I
honestly-
don't like this. I hate the CG.
Yeah.
Honestly, the CG wasn't as bad as most shows.
True. Okay, I will give them that.
It was much better than like if you've seen Overlord, like
Oh, the sheep.
we don't talk not even the sheep, but also the dragon in Overlord.
Yeah.
Like that's the one that I go to immediately is the dragon because it just
I've
was so bad.
Never seen Overlord.
Yeah.
You would like it. You should watch it.
Yeah. Okay.
But yeah, I don't like shows that try to like shoehorn in CG stuff for no good reason. Like, this show has good animation. Like, its traditional animation of the show is really good. Its CG is well done, but it just makes me then question if the animation of the show is so well done, they have a nice visual style,
Mm-hmm.
why are they doing CG for the fairies? Like, I'd like to see the fairies, which are more monsters than what one would think of a fairy, like done in that animation style. Like, it would look better. It would fit better with the show still.
I'm on kind of the same page as you. Also, I noticed like partway through, I think on episode like 3 or 4, I was watching it and I noticed all of their faces are super blank. Like, they have very few facial features. It looks like someone 2D animated the 3D models from Ruby, which I'm not ripping on Ruby. It's not like a bad show or anything, even though everyone in the anime community hates it. It's just like, if you look at them, they have very few facial features because they're 3D animated and they need to render that.
Yeah.
And it seems like this show is trying to 3D animate or like 2D animate 3D models essentially because they all look so empty, I guess.
Huh.
It's weird.
I've
but,
never
like-
seen Ruby, so I don't know. I have seen I've seen commercials for it on like Crunchyroll.
Yeah,
So
that's like
I get what
that's
you're
pretty much
saying.
all you need. Yeah.
Yeah.
because they have very like clear faces that are very smooth, which is just the style that they have.
Gotcha.
So, but yeah, all right. Well, without further ado, what do you say we hop into this and start
Absolutely.
yelling about things?
Okay, so we watched 7 episodes.
Yes.
In the first episode, you are following this girl character. How do I never remember anybody's names ever?
No. She has a weird name.
Okay,
She
so
has
her
a
name
weird name.
sounds like kind of like Maria, but is like Marella. Like if you look at the spelling, of it, it's
Marla?
weird.
That's right. Something.
Marlia.
Marlia, yeah, but
Marlia.
it's
That's what
they,
it is.
but they pronounce it in a strange way. Like it doesn't.
Uh-huh.
It's a very weird name. Like
It's not your fault for not remembering this
Yeah.
one, and we're
No.
all on the same page here.
Well,
to
in
be
my
fair, the other character's name, like main character's name, is Free.
yeah,
like-
like that's a freebie.
Like
Like what the hell? Like have
that's our
like,
pun of the day.
like, and then we have like a Veronica. Like we have like names that are all over the
No,
place.
no,
with
you
weird-
have
with weird-
Vare because they.
Oh
call
my
her
god,
by
I
her name.
hate how she calls her
Vare.
Vare. Her name is Veronica. Jesus Christ. Call her
like-
something different.
It
God.
honestly took me until like halfway through the second
Ugh.
episode to figure out what was going on with that situation.
It was terrible.
Also-
what a
Oh my! So, I guess now is probably a good time to explain to you why this show is actually JoJo's Bizarre Adventure.
whenever you feel like it
Um,
makes sense.
So, in JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, starting from the 3rd season on, because the first 2 seasons are less than, they're both like 10 episodes, and then like the 3rd season is like 40. So basically, the way that it works is all the characters have what are called stands, which are like personifications of themselves. They're originally aligned with the tarot cards, and then they're aligned with the Egyptian gods, and then they ran out of ideas, so they just started making weird things.
Uh-huh.
I'm not kidding.
I know you're not. I know. That's why I'm laughing.
But it's
true.
100% the same thing. Like they summon it from their bodies and they fight, and every single time they introduce a new character, it's like, what? He can use a stand? Like it's some like outrageous. Like they said, there's only 17 fairy soldiers left over from
Yeah.
the end of the war, but you're introduced to like 80 people that all have fairies, and you're like,
Right.
what's going on? Where
Yeah,
are they
there's-
getting them? And I guarantee you, we're gonna find some surgeon or something that's illegally implanting them for the mafia.
Yeah, there were
You know,
most of the
yeah, maybe.
So there's 2 types of fairies they show in the show. There's
Yeah.
your more standard type that are humanoid in appearance, and then your other weird ones, which generally nobody does anything with.
Yeah.
Though one of our main characters, Miss M, is possessed by one of them very early on. But the other type
Miss
are
M because you don't want to say her name.
correct. So,
So like
I respect it.
so
in the
other guy
general
though has a normal one. But
Yeah, he has a werewolf.
he is a werewolf.
his is really
um,
cool. I like it. It's
His
like
was known as
neat.
Red Hood before they put it into him.
yeah, they
mentioned.
how did they
Okay.
do that?
Okay,
And
so this
then-
is Ruby.
And then according to is it episode 3 or 4? There's like a little starting bit where they go through and mention how many people are left. So all
think it
told,
was-
there's
I think
3.
it was 3 because 3
Yeah.
leads into episode 4
Yeah,
immediately.
so there's 300 fairy soldiers, so people who can summon like giant monsters on the battlefield, and you have like special abilities
Mhm.
during this big war. And then at the end of the war, because they kept killing each other for no good reason apparently.
I mean, probably because they were in a war. That's my guess. But hey,
yeah, but we
when
don't
I
have
been
a
right before?
like. It's a
Why
weird
were
thing to
we
do,
even at
right?
war? I don't know. And now
Well,
there's
that's
dukes
the thing. Like
and
we
now
haven't
the-
really been told, and it kind of seems like no one really knows or cares terribly much because
I
it just kind
mean,
of happened.
yeah.
Hey, does this remind anybody else of Full Metal Alchemist from the very
Yeah.
beginning, where it's like 1920s and like kind of with the mafia and kind of with the police and kind of uncovering like a massive
What's going on? Yeah.
conspiracy?
then-
That'd be
yeah.
crazy.
Okay.
So after the war, of the 300 soldiers that there were 17 left.
Yes.
So,
Ah.
but yeah, this show feels, despite how good it looks and the fact that it's new, it feels like they went, "Oh, here's a good show, snip. here's a good show, snip, and just kind of stitch the ideas together a little bit.
Well, as you're seeing from me literally just screaming out other show names, and like we're all just kind of agreeing, it's like, yeah, it's kind of like that.
Yeah, like
it's
I
kinda
can,
like that.
you can feel really easy. Like if you're not a weeblet and you've been a weeb for a while and you watch a lot of anime, you're gonna notice the influences in this show pretty hard.
Oh, absolutely. And also, one of the things that kind of annoys me is I feel like the show it keeps trying to introduce a bunch of things, but it doesn't give any of them time to actually sit. Do you know? So like, they introduce Veronica in the first episode, and you're like, this is going to be the major plot of the show. She's going to be hunting down Veronica and trying to figure out why Veronica abandoned her in the woods, and they're gonna like get together and be friends. And
we have something of an idea of why she abandoned her in the woods, which was basically, I'm going to lead the guards away, which was really basically like, I'm going to lead them away and then go somehow get revenge. Like,
but then like after the first
don't
episode,
die.
you don't see Veronica again for like another 2 episodes, and instead you're introduced to Wolfram, who's the new big bad guy who we like are what?
Okay, so to be fair, we do meet Wolfram first in episode 1.
Yeah.
We just don't see anything else from him after the first like 3 minutes. Yeah, he's in the first like 3 minutes of the show.
He's like a background character.
Oh.
So right at the start of episode 1, where the treaty, like the armistice, is like the guy comes running in saying like there's a treaty, it's an armistice, the war's over. The blonde guy standing next to Free, who was fighting with him, who just throws down his sword and walks away. That's Wolfram. And Free yells out his name, and then we don't see him again after that.
Yeah, and then, which I guess is like, that's cool, like foreshadowing, but still, like at the end of the day, it's like, then we get Wolfram, and it's like, wow, Wolfram is doing all these crazy things. He must be the big bad guy. And then we go back and we get a psycho priest, just like every other show. So,
yeah.
Basically, I think we should actually probably like start like having some form of just episode by episode, because we're all over the place.
Yeah,
but this show kind of takes a lot of plots
all over the place.
It's gonna be one of those shows that is like every episode, here's a new little thread, and eventually it's gonna weave into a tapestry if they do it right.
I've seen how Game of Thrones ends. There's a lot of threads left around.
I know. That's why I said if they do it right. A lot of shows that do this, where they're like the first like few episodes, and if it's a longer show, like 10, 12 episodes, they have all these different threads, and they try to weave them together for a big payoff. A lot of the times it doesn't come together properly. It looks like shit.
Remember Avatar: The Last Airbender?
Hey, no.
All of the threads came back at the end.
Avatar was a good one, and also has one of the worst ones in Korra.
We don't talk about Korra, though. Korra was still a good show, but it
was a good show until
as good as Avatar.
Like the last half of the last season. They screwed that up so badly and just shoehorned things in because they didn't want to explain anything. Or like, this is this now, and you're like, but that doesn't make sense from the last few seasons we've been watching. And you're like, no, this is what it is.
Hey, but
it's always been like this.
At the end of the day, she has character development, and that's all we can ask for.
Okay, I will give the fact she had character development. Some is completely out of left field character development that doesn't make sense, but it's still character development. It's still more than the Fox show.
Oh man, we don't talk about the Fox show. Okay,
so
episode. We'll try to give a quick rundown of what happens in the episodes. Episode 1. Marlia.
We can yank up a synopsis. That's probably the fastest way of doing this.
That would probably be a good idea, so we can have, because it's 7 episodes. It's hard to.
It's a lot of episodes to go through.
Yeah,
it's just
there's a lot that we shoved into our brains. Let me Google some stuff.
Because I think that's one of the reasons we're jumping around here is that
we're
pulling things up as we remember them.
There's probably a bunch of. I honestly forgot about the scene in the beginning where they were talking about they signed a thing.
It was the beginning in like there's the first 5 minutes of the show is going back between Free and Marlia, like explaining what's going on in the world to give you some
context, right?
Yeah.
For what's going on here.
You're getting Marlia's story from the village side, and then you're getting Free's story from the military side. And so Marlia's explaining like, oh, bad things are happening. I'm so sad. And Free's like, the war is over. We did it, kids.
Yep.
So I mean,
Okay, so yes, in the it's Marlia and Veronica's city was burned down. They got separated.
Yes.
Marlia joins the mafia and hopes to find Veronica.
Yes.
Why does
she
that
thought
make sense?
So because Veronica disappeared, but she heard rumors of her working with the mafia.
Okay, that's right.
So she figured she'd join
So,
and then see
yeah,
if
she
they
was
panned
gonna
out.
try to join the mafia and try to track her down using all those skills that she got by existing.
Ironically, at the same time, this dude named Free was also infiltrating the mafia in some weird coincidence that,
Well, she's
happens.
doing it to find someone. He's doing it because
For
he
his
works
job.
for.
Because he worked for
Yeah,
the
government.
He was
government.
hunting the talismans or something.
He was hunting
He-
down.
What's the
trying to-
word that I'm looking for?
He was infiltrating a organization, like one of the mafia organizations, because at that point, that's all we kind of knew, that he was just kind of trying to get in there, and it doesn't work because they're dealing in illegal fairy artifacts, including
Yes.
fairies themselves of the type that are not used to make fairy soldiers. Stuff you can use to make like different fairy-based stuff. And there is also a page from one of the fairy tomes, which is a thing we'll get back to after we do the synopsis.
Yes, because they talk about that way later on.
Yeah.
Then they're doing their
So let's go
their
back to
wheeling and
our
dealing.
synopsis. Who has it up here?
I have it up.
Yeah.
I'm on the Wikia.
Okay.
Or
so let's
Wikipedia.
just go.
Okay.
I know we're super organized here, guys. That's fine.
Super organized.
We're nothing if not professional.
I know. Okay, so
We're not at all. We're terrible, but it's fine.
so first episode, it's them infiltrating the mafia. Veronica shows up. So we get flashbacks to give us context. This is basically a context episode, just to give us some idea of what the world is like, what's going on, what fairy soldiers are, and blah blah blah.
During some struggle, Marlia ends up touching a fairy and then gets possessed by the fairy.
Yes.
One of the
course.
bottles with fairies in it falls over, and
Yeah.
she was the closest person to it. So obviously the fairy's like, "I'm gonna possess ya."
Yeah,
which
makes
we
sense.
come to find out is strange because that's not something that normally happens.
Well,
Right.
She doesn't have an implanted organ.
Right. Which
for
is
the
how
fairy.
you normally have a fairy soldier.
Yes.
So,
Yeah,
but we
like
can get
all
to-
of these-
So that's kind of covered later here.
Yeah.
Mhm.
All of the
so
fairy
the-
soldiers were like created by like implanting
Yes.
fairy organs into
That's
them.
more covered in like but not one of the episodes.
Okay.
So episode 2, because that's basically all that happens in episode 1.
Well, at the end of
Marlia
episode
is-
1, that Free invites her to join Dorothea, which is the
Yes,
company
Free
that
basically
he
tells
works
her
for.
that she is now possessed by a fairy, which makes her illegal. So she has
Imagine
two options.
telling someone that they are illegal.
So he's like, you have two options. You can either get arrested, and who knows what'll happen to you at that point, or you can come work for the government agency and maybe, with our help, be able to find your friend. And then we find out that the thing Veronica stole, which is one of the alleged pages from the Black Fairy book, was a fake.
Yes. Did we learn that in the
episode
first
2
episode? I don't remember.
Yep. It happens at the very, very end. So, episode 2, Marlia is recruited into Dorothea, which is the name of the government agency. Free makes his report. He's then told by the director to alter his report. So, Marlia's condition of being possessed by a fairy rather than being a fairy soldier is not in government record and thus knowledge. Until they find out what's actually going on with her.
Mm-hmm.
They are then given an assignment to investigate the illegal sale of artificial fairies, which are basically created golem-like soldiers. So they're artificial soldiers that are quite strong, made using artificial fairies. They're going to do that.
They're almost kind of like mechs, but are driven by fairies.
Yes, well, they're not real fairies. It's a very
It's
strange.
fairy magic, but it's not
Yeah.
actual fairies.
Okay, gotcha.
So
It's
from
like Magitech from Final Fantasy 15.
yeah, So this show is going to get confusing with the fairy thing.
I'm just
Just for
throwing
anybody
spoilers
who's
out
watching
if
it.
I can.
Is that the
Just
confusing part of the
because-
show?
Well, the fairy thing is going to be confusing because you have artificial fairies, and then fairy soldiers,
Mm-hmm.
and they're all basically referred to by fairy, but
They're not
You-
all equal.
yeah, you have the type of fairies which are like the one that's possessing Marlia,
And
which
Uh-huh.
normally do not have contact with people and are completely invisible to people without special glass. It is worth
Which
noting that
is-
Marlia can see them.
Yeah,
And
that
other
was
people
that was
can't.
a big thing in the first episode. Was she was like looking up me and like a fairy, and Free was like, "Wait, she can see the fairies? Excuse me."
Hmm.
So that's the thing, right? So that's one type of fairy. Then you have the other type of fairy, which is the type that fairy soldiers have implanted in them. And then
Yeah,
you
fire
have
type.
right, and then you have the third type, which is your artificial fairies. So they're called artificial fairies probably because they resemble the secondary type, the type that Free has with the giant monsters, because
Mhm.
they're basically giant monster soldiers. So I wish they had given a little more distinction to these, but whatever. So in this episode, they're going out to stop the sale of these, illegal soldiers,
Yeah, like a
robot
like,
things.
yeah, just basically like a black market sale of
Yes.
of artificial soldiers.
Right.
So
And then we find out that there is another fairy soldier there on part of the criminal's behalf, and
Uh-huh.
we find out that it is
Wolfram.
Wolfram, and so we get to see Wolfram again.
And we get introduced to him as a character. And
And
man, they decided to do some world building here by building unique vehicles.
Oh my
Yes.
god, they were
Holy
terrible.
fuck.
They didn't even
Oh my
use them.
God.
Like I remember, I saw episode.
Why
it
would
was
you
either-
put wheels on the back and spider legs on the front?
yeah. Okay,
They-
so for those wondering, this world, in addition to having artificial fairy soldiers, they have quote unquote cars that have legs, like armored legs coming at the bottom of them.
I want to point
but
out we've
the
seen
transport-
regular cars already.
But the transport trucks have wheels, like wooden wheels in the back, like have like a hitch section on them, and then these two giant wooden wheels in the back.
Yeah.
In
They-
addition to this,
Terrible.
you were literally shown Free and Marlia riding a train, a normal train,
Yes.
and using a motorcycle
With normal wheels.
with
With
normal
normal
wheels
wheels.
and engine
No,
and
no,
stuff to get there.
Free chases after the spider leg truck on a motorcycle.
Yes,
Uh-huh.
so it's
That's
very
an
strange that
important
these
distinction.
things exist. Like it's very, very weird. Unless
Okay, they cut them out too. I watched 6 or 7, and they were like, "Look, it's a truck with wheels." So they
Yeah,
they,
so-
they scrapped that idea pretty quick because they probably realized it was terrible.
right, so
It
we
didn't
don't
make
know what's
any
going on with
sense.
that,
It was
but it
dumb.
doesn't make any sense. It's very weird looking. So we get introduced to Wolfram. Wolfram has an MO, which is if something goes south, he basically removes all evidence. In this case, the people he was working with, he kills them all and then leaves.
Very classic.
And then we find
mob
out
thing
that,
to do that we all knew was going to happen.
Then we find out that Wolfram, part of the reason he's soured on stuff is that his wife and child were killed
in
during the war.
Yeah, he came
Unbeknownst
home
to
to a burnt down house, and everybody was
Yeah.
dead.
So episode 3, this is where we get the little opening bit where we learn that fairs are practically hunted to extinction. There's
Yes.
only 17 known to have survived the Unification War, which is the name of the war itself. It's confirmed Wolfram's family was killed during the war. And back in the present, Free and Marley are tasked by the Ministry of Fairies to visit the fairy scholar Kane to investigate reports of the Black Fairy Tome, which contains information about fairy possession. They head to Timon? I don't know. They don't really say the name of this place. Where they encounter Sweetie, one of Free's contacts from the Mafia. Together, they meet with Kane and his associate Damien, while another of Free's Mafia contacts, Axel, looks to find a way to steal the tome for the Arcane Mafia. which is another
Yeah.
mafia group.
Man, how many mafias have we had?
2 so far, actually.
I'm making a joke because this show
know.
seems like it's getting needlessly complicated
There's
already.
going to be more.
I'm
Axel
sure
manages to steal.
I watched the episodes. I know.
So Axel gets to steal manages to steal a page from the tome, causing Free and Marlia to race after, and to race together against Sweetie to recover it. However, the entire chase is a ploy set up by Damien and Veronica by using the fake tome. If you remember, it was a fake that they cured.
Yes.
To flush out the groups seeking the real tome. Sweetie shoots Axel, forcing him to give up the tome, but Free arrives and battles her for it, and Sweetie revealing that she is also a fairy soldier. Meanwhile,
Shocking.
What?
I know. Axel
You're
lies in
telling
an
me
alley dying
there's
from his wound
more fairy
when an unknown man approaches him. So, episode 4, Free and Sweetie fight, which ends in Free's victory after Marlia helps him and Sweetie leaves. Marlia dreams of how Suna, which is her home village, was destroyed by an army led by Ray Dawn. She and Veronica had the ability to see fairy primitives without help. Patricia, a friend of Sweetie's and fellow Goo Carlin member, which is the member, that's their mafia,
organization.
Meets with her. Free and Marlia return to Kane and Damien, who are evasive about how they got the Black Tome page and deny knowing Veronica. Marlia doesn't believe them. Patricia and her partner Jonathan steal the tome page after they leave, and Marlia and Free follow them down a passageway under an abandoned church.
Sounds
They are
fun.
ambushed in a crypt, and Patricia lures Free away before attacking with her fairy, leaving Jonathan to capture Marlia. A potent knife welder, he chases Marlia back into the church and wounds her with a poison knife that prevents her from summoning her fairy.
Really
As he-
quick, can we just just acknowledge the character of the knife guy?
The creepy
was-
man? Sure.
The
who
like
is
psychotic priest.
the same
serial
this
killer?
character is in every show that
Yes.
wants to have somebody who's creepy. The most
Yeah.
notable example I have of this is Beetlejuice in ReZero.
Hmm.
Is like a guy who's like, pain is good for you. I want you to feel the pain so you can be good. There's no killing. He just wants you to feel pain, and it's weird and it's creepy, and there's no reason for it to exist, but it exists literally everywhere.
Yes.
That's
Yeah.
the end of my.
This is another trope you come across in not just anime. The creepy, sadistic character who wants to
Yeah.
hurt people for some
divine reasoning.
He gets off on it, but there's also like some divine thing he thinks like he's insane.
There's usually some like religious thing.
Yeah.
There's a lot of shows where it's like, if I can bring you pain, then I can be reunited with my loved one who died 8 years ago and I went crazy because of it, or something like that.
Yeah.
Or they're just crazy. Isn't there somebody like that in Full Metal Alchemist too?
Probably.
Maybe Barry the Butcher or something. I don't know.
There's, to an extent, there's even a character like this in one of Dan Brown's novels too, and thus in the movie about it, the Da Vinci Code.
Mm.
Oh,
Because you have Silas,
Okay.
right? So, character of Silas, he's a guy who's somewhat sadistic to himself because he's into self-flagellation and things like that. So, and there's very obvious religious overtones there because he's a monk. But yeah, it's a trope. It shows up a lot. So we have one of those characters.
Yeah, I wanted, because it seems like the synopsis isn't really going into character.
Well, it's
because
we
it's
can
a synopsis.
We can discuss that. It's just a synopsis, and we have a few more episodes still to go through.
Yeah, I just want to make sure that people are understanding what's going
Yes.
on here, because
So-
I don't.
Just as he's about to capture Marlia, Veronica leaps through the church's stained glass window,
Which is like directly above her.
which is directly above her, which is a feat to do in the first place because of how those windows work and would hurt. And
also
then lands right in front of
superhero
her.
entrance.
Yes.
You know,
Superhero landing, yes, superhero landing
yeah.
happened.
is that yeah?
And that's basically the end of that episode. Ow.
Which can we
So-
talk about how much? Why did she show up just to save Marlia?
'Cause
Also
Marlia's
talks
her best
about how that Veronica's dead. Move on.
No,
but I'm gonna come save
the-
you anyway.
The synopsis
break.
doesn't cover a scene that happens during that episode earlier on, where she's recovering in bed, like Marlia is recovering in bed. Veronica comes to her door, then leaves without going in, but she's obviously conflicted about entering.
I guess I
So
didn't catch that, and/or I forgot about
it's
it.
very, very, very short scene. Like
Okay.
she's just there and then leaves. So they are still obviously very good friends, though they haven't seen each other in a very long time. They do care about one another. So when her friend's in trouble, she enters the thing.
Yeah.
So episode 5. In the past, Veronica attempts to assassinate Ray Dawn, the man responsible for Suna's destruction, but fails when he
Wait,
uses his strength
5?
against. Yes.
Yeah,
Did we
episode
skip
4
4?
was the one where Veronica comes, because at the end of episode 3, everybody's screwed.
Yeah.
And then at the beginning of episode 4, Free comes back in the fight and beats what Sweetie?
Yeah,
Yeah,
Sweetie.
okay.
Yeah, he's fighting Sweetie, and then
All of the
Marlia comes down.
blonde female characters look exactly the same.
That's true. I almost thought it was
so
the same
we
character.
are on 5 now. I
Okay,
know
so
these
4
are
was
fun.
just the fight scenes, basically. Okay.
Basically, yeah.
It was the
Okay.
fight scenes, and it was Veronica and Marlia kind of like making up, if that makes sense, because they actually got to sit down and see each other for a minute before Veronica did the same thing where she was like, peace.
Yeah. So 5. So Veronica attempts to assassinate Ray Dawn, man responsible for her village destruction. Fails when he uses the fairy against her. In the present, Veronica attacks Jonathan, but has difficulty getting past his fairy, having been struck a glancing blow and becoming tainted by the same poison that prevents her from summoning her fairy. Not wanting to leave Veronica to do all the fighting, Marlia forces her fairy to appear, and it launches a fire attack at Jonathan, trapping him and allowing Marlia and Veronica to escape the church. In the catacombs, Free is able to get the upper hand on Patricia, who decides to give him the Black Fairy Tome page and flee. Jonathan follows Marlia and Veronica out of the church, where he is swiftly killed by Veronica, as she is able to summon her fairy once more. Veronica warns Marlia not to get involved with her for her own safety before leaving. Meanwhile, the Duke of Highbrands, Schwartz Dies, okay, we're going German here.
No, don't worry. We're changing cultures every time we meet a new person.
I know. Plans to
be
make
fair,
a
Wolfram
move
was a pretty damn German name.
against Ray Dawn with Wolfram. Marlia and Free return to HQ, where the rest of Dorothea throw a party for Marlia in celebration of her first successful mission. Veronica hums a song up from Suna to herself as she stares at the night sky. That's the end of 5. 6. After the Unification War, administration of the country was split between the Emperor, the Prime Minister, and 5 dukes. However, over the years, 3 of the dukes were killed for treason, with Dies and Ray Dawn being the remaining 2 dukes. In the present, Marlia and Free are on patrol in preparation for the 10th anniversary of the end of the Unification War.
They're going to have like a big parade, it would seem, and stuff.
Yeah.
Also, it's obvious that they're going to start going like, this is going to be some very elaborate conspiracy.
Yeah.
It like you're going to find out that these dukes were actually trying to like stop the evil person from taking over.
Yeah, that's usually how this works. Even if you want to consolidate power. Okay, so to stop a new artificial Zern 1 fairy that malfunctions after being sabotaged by an unknown party. Dorothy then receives intelligence on the location of the real Black Fairy Tome, so Marlia and Clara, who's a character we meet previously, are sent to the city of, let's just call it S, because I'm not trying to pronounce that, to retrieve it. They follow an agent named Dice, who bought the Black Fairy Tome from auction. While hailing Dice, Clara tells Marlia how she volunteered to join Dorothea after Director 9 saved her life during the war. They are followed by Damien. The 2 are able to apprehend Dice, but he does not have the tome and refuses to talk. Free and Marlia then encounter Axel, who has recovered from his wound, and he informs them Dice works on behalf of a man named Gilbert Warlock, a high-ranking Guilcarn mafia leader.
I'm not gonna lie, I was really hoping you were gonna say Godfrey.
I know. Meanwhile, Sweetie arrives at Warlock's estate. Seeing my dog's paying attention here. At formal dinner, Duke Dice smiles at the news of the artificial fairy malfunction. And episode 7, more Zern 1 artificial fairies begin to malfunction from sabotage, leading to a division between the rival Ministry of Fairies and the Ministry of War over what course of action to take. Sweetie meets with Warlock and asks to see the Black Fairy Tome, but he refuses to show it to her. Dorothea continues to investigate both Warlock and the malfunctioning Zern 1s, but cannot uncover any new leads. 9 is summoned by Duke Dice, who tries to convince her to ally Dorothea with the Ministry of War against the Ministry of Fairies. Remember, the the organization of Dorothea reports directly to the Ministry of Fairies, basically. Free catches sight of Wolfram in the city and suspects that Arcane family is planning something for the war anniversary, which is 3 days away. Robert continues to investigate the defective fairies and believes the missing inventor of the previous Sidon 7 artificial fairies, Eddie Lloyd, may be involved.
So many hard names. Silly.
No. Don't worry. We're gonna have to change cultures in a minute, so don't get used
Yeah.
to
Oh,
it.
okay. Oh, okay.
Sweetie approaches
Alright.
Dorothea and offers to work with them to investigate Guacarn, executive Warlock. She, Marleya, Clara confront Warlock, who admits he possesses the Black Fairy Tome but still refuses to show it. Sweetie offers in exchange to let her see it for Marleya and Clara, who she reveals are Dorothea. In a flashback, a young Sweetie travels to the ruins of an ancient civilization of Tupal. And then episode 8, which is not out yet, is actually coming out today.
It's actually technically
it came
out
out. It
now.
allegedly came out about 2.5 hours ago.
Yes.
But because of the timing of when we
We
record
do
the
this,
podcast,
it's not.
it's unrealistic for us to be able to
cover the newest
watch
episode
that,
each week.
the episode like before, just because like it's easier for you guys because like you could
Well, I'm
already be awake, but
Further
like
west, yeah.
I need to like wake up because like we started recording this at 11 o'clock my time. I'm usually like yesterday I was up at like 4:30 in the morning, so I was like dead.
Yeah.
And I wanted to be able to sleep in, so
Whereas it's,
not
3
happening.
where I'm at, so it's
Like if it wasn't, I could watch it, but I stream on Sunday mornings unless I watch it while I'm streaming. Never once have I done that.
Exactly.
I just knew that we weren't
Never
gonna
once
get
has he
to
watched
episode
an episode while he's streaming like right before.
Nope,
we
never
end up
once.
doing-
Never happened.
8. And there is, even though episode 8 is out and up on different sites,
Big quotes
it
around
is,
out and up.
there's no synopsis for it yet.
Yeah, just because it's been out for like so little.
Like an hour.
So yeah, basically we all expected more.
Yeah, I kind of
Ah.
expected.
I don't know. I googled Fairygon and I saw
I
that it had like a
hoped more, I think,
6.4 on the IMDb, and I was like, oh,
Ooh,
wow.
wow.
Yeah,
Okay.
I think
All
people
right.
had more hopes for this show because
It was
again-
like it was the show immediately behind Demon Slayer on the
Yeah.
I want to watch it list.
Yeah, it
on
was very
high on
Letterboxd.
the
list.
The first 2 shows were One Punch Man season 2, which was obviously the top. No
Yeah.
way you could beat that. And Attack on Titan season 3 part 2, which again, there's no way you can really beat
No.
that because of
And-
the momentum that this show has.
Yeah, in all
And-
honesty, like if you're gonna look at the top 5 like shows to watch, like new shows to watch, you discount those 2 because 1, they're both returning shows, and
Mhm.
2, they're at the top. Like that's
Yeah.
a given, right? So
Yeah.
you look at the next ones, and if you looked at the next ones,
It was literally it was One Punch Man, Attack on Titan,
Titan,
Demon Slayer,
Slayer,
Fairy
Gone,
Gone, the
yeah.
show about the kid tutoring 2 different girls who are idiots in the fields they want to be good in, but good in the fields they want to be idiots in.
and that show is actually good.
Yeah. Have
you
the
been
other
watching
ones. Yes, I have been watching that.
this show has a 6.1 on my anime list and a 6.6 on IMDb.
I think
Yeah,
it deserves that.
it's-
I 100% think it deserves that. Which
Yeah,
sucks
it's
because
like it
not-
doesn't.
It's not a bad show, but it's very.
It's not a bad
average.
show, but it's not a great show.
I don't
yeah, it's
really
very,
care
very
about it.
Average.
Like I'm gonna
I
keep.
think people had, kind of expected more out of it. Like
I wanted more out of it. It seemed like it could have been a better show. Which
Yeah.
is the thing,
I think
like
that-
I said, like that's literally JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, but JoJo's Bizarre Adventure has like a very clear line. Like the first 2 seasons I'm not talking about right now just because they're like lesser than the rest of the show.
Yeah.
But in season 3, they're like, all right, here's the deal. You have magic powers, we have magic powers. There's this bad guy with magic powers, and we need to go kill him, and we're gonna kill magic people along the way. We're gonna go on an adventure, and it's gonna be bizarre. And then they go on an adventure, and it's a good show. And that's it. Like that's all that there is to it.
see, I've just looked at my anime list, like the rankings, and it made my head hurt
Why is that?
because the Fox show has almost an 8.
Oh no! What?
No, there are
Don't-
people who are super into that show, and I
Uh,
understand why, but I don't agree with it on an emotional level.
Oh my god!
Let's look at idea.
I've been seeing all kinds of memes about it.
There have
it
been
gets
people
weirder
who are
and weirder. Like,
real into that show.
yeah, there's some people real into those fetishes. I'm not surprised.
No, they're like this show is so wholesome and
Wow.
fun, and I'm just like,
Wait, is that the actual anime or the manga that I'm seeing on my anime list?
I don't know.
you can check and see.
8.09.
The manga might be better.
the the manga was actually like super highly rated. That's why the show was up there on the list.
Yeah, I think that's why the show was also looked forward to, and then it's like, this is
Mhm.
weird. Because
Like,
the thing with
the show has been falling on lists very very fast
because it's
like week 1 everybody was like, yeah, it's cute, it's fun, it's wholesome, and then week 2 everybody was like, when do we get the character development? And week 3 they're like, when do we get
what's
the character
going on?
development?
Like, come on
And
here.
then week 4 they were like,
Is everybody a furry? What's
yes, actually.
yeah, it's
Everybody was a furry.
so so I'm very
Oh,
blonde.
okay, here we go. The actual anime is a 7.6. The manga was an 8 or whatever.
Yeah. So, like, the show, the voiceovers aren't bad. Animation is
I did
good.
watch the English version, and it reminded me even more of Full Metal Alchemist.
Okay, I watched.
Pretty
So
sure they had. I have to check it out.
I started watching this on the Funimation app on PlayStation. That app is garbage, by the way. And I could watch the first two episodes. I got to watch the dub. Anything beyond that, you have to be the premium fucking viewer or the premium whatever. I watched one more after it in subtitles, and then it was like only premium viewers can watch the next 4 episodes. I'm like, what the fuck, really?
Yeah,
it's
they
really
want you to spend money.
stupid. But then it's on Hulu, so I'm okay, good, groovy. I can just watch it on Hulu.
Yeah, it's why the Funimation app
no
is going to
big
die.
fucking deal.
Yeah,
Because people are just going to go to things like Hulu.
You guys ready for the super sad email that I got at 10:49 a.m. 10 minutes before the podcast starts?
Possibly.
Your Crunchyroll Premium membership has expired.
Yeah, that's fine. I'm not sad. You would be though. I get it.
I'm sad because I actually use it a lot, but like
I mean, I have been now.
I'm out of money, so I've had to like remove it.
I really wouldn't mind having like a no commercials for it, but I also have Hulu with commercials because it's like $6 as opposed to 12. So like, hey,
it's super cheap for Hulu with commercials.
Yeah.
Plus, if you have Spotify, you can get included now.
Oh yeah, that's
Yeah,
true.
you
I should
can.
actually
That's a
do
thing.
that because I do pay for Spotify. I need to.
Yeah.
I need
It's
to do
a
that.
it's a student thing. So
It's a
like
student
if you
thing,
have
like-
a .edu email, you can do it. But
Oh,
like,
I don't.
Comfy can.
Okay.
So.
I probably have an extra email for you, no meme. Don't worry. Because
Just make one that we can all like everybody can log into.
dude, what else are you supposed to do?
Yeah,
I don't know.
I don't even pay for my Netflix. I have access via someone else's account. So
Dude, right? That's what so many people do. I know
Gotcha.
people that get like 5 people on a Netflix account, and then they just have the different profiles on it.
yeah, that's what it is. It's a family shared account. It's like me, my parents, my brother. Like that's what it is. Like the whole.
I do that with my family. Me and my brother have to share a profile though because it only allows for 5 profiles, and there's 6 people in my family. It's like. Wait, one sec. I have to see what the profiles are because it's actually pretty interesting what the people have decided to name them. So
Oh,
we
fun.
have Linda, which is a wine glass, which is my mom.
Listen, Linda. I had to.
We have Kate, which is one of my sisters, which is a dog. We have Bob, which is my other younger sister, which is like a little alien. We have Distress, which is an upside down American flag, which is my dad.
Okay.
That's the funny one. That it's like I can just show it on stream. It's Distress.
Okay.
And then you have Nick and Nate, which is me and my brother. But like I love that that's what they decided because I didn't choose any. I don't set that up. I don't care enough.
Right.
They were just like my dad was just like Distress.
That's something, huh?
So
Okay.
now I think we have to come to the hard part where
So-
we have to decide: do we let it live on?
Of course. Yeah, we
Or
can't
do we
flip
put it
flop
in-
again.
We can keep going. This one doesn't have the glaring
I like-
flaws
I like it more. It
all
has potential.
told. Yeah.
Yeah, no,
has
I definitely don't want to
potential
flip. If this had been like an unbelievably crap,
It's a
Unbelievably
terrible
awful.
show, I would. But no, like it's not
yeah.
terrible.
No, this show isn't bad.
It's not good, but it's not
It's
bad.
not bad.
not-
It's just not good.
It's just kind
It's
of
not-
eh.
bad. It's not great. It's very.
It's like
It's
cheese
very much
pizza.
6.
You're happy that
Like,
you have
it's
pizza.
very much a 5 or a
but
6. Like
you
it's
could have better
right
pizza.
now. But that said, there is some interesting potential here. Like if this is a long run show, like if this is like a 24
Sure.
episode show, they've got a lot of room to grow things and kind of ramp things up, which would be interesting. I'm still going to hate the CGI in the show. I'm just
Yes,
going to
of
hate
course,
that
of course, of course.
in all anime, but
Yeah, it's
there's
CGI is never good. There's very few times where CG in a 2D show can be implemented well.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm not going to say that it's zero because I have definitely seen it implemented in ways that I have to stop and be like, wait, was that CG? I couldn't tell.
yeah,
But-
it's just not often.
For the most
Um,
part, it is a lazy mechanic that people use to save time. See Berserk.
So I think the show's got potential.
Mhm.
Right now, I'm not sure if I could recommend it to people,
Yeah.
just because there are better shows for you to go and watch that are more interesting and that are finished. So I can tell
Yeah,
you
like
they're
Demon
interesting all the way
Slayer.
through.
Demon Slayer. I
Demon
need to
Slayer
catch
isn't
up.
done, but
Demon Slayer isn't
it
done, but it's
is-
very good. Hey, do you
but
want to
it
watch
is
Better
interesting.
Fairy Gone? Go watch JoJo's from season 3 on. Hey, you want to watch Better Fairy Gone? Go watch Full Metal Alchemist. Hey,
yeah, like if
watch
you're looking
Better
for a
Fairy
show
Gone.
like of this type where it's got like political intrigue, some different sides, a bunch of little threads all weaving together, that's finished and is 100% good, go
Mhm.
watch Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood.
Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood.
And then
It's the same time period.
and then
it's like
maybe come
different
back to the
points.
show when it's finished, right?
That's like one of the few
Yeah.
shows. Full Metal is one of the few shows that I'm actually like, this is a great show, where I actually like
Have you
thoroughly
watched Avatar: The Last Airbender?
parts of it.
It's not an
not the whole-
anime, but it
Yeah.
has the second best redemption arc of all time, only second to Vegeta.
Oh man, I love it when he uses the spirit bomb.
Yeah, it's my favorite part when Vegeta uses the Kamehameha.
Mm-hmm.
But no,
Yeah,
like
so-
I really want Dragon Ball Z Kai someday. Someday we'll watch it. Chat.
one
maybe.
day you'll watch Dragon Ball Z
Someday
Kai.
Yeah.
someday we'll decide to do One Piece and we'll have to watch like 80
No, that's like 800 fucking
One day-
episodes, isn't it?
One day we're gonna decide to do One Piece, but it's not gonna be like, yeah, we're just gonna watch one episode of One Piece. It's like we're gonna watch 8 seasons of One Piece.
Yeah.
It's like we have to make sure we watch the first third of it, so we're gonna have to watch like 200 episodes. Chat. Let's
listen,
get
Good
going.
God.
one day we'll watch JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. That'll be a fun one.
Oh yeah, it'll be mega fun.
I'm trying to figure out how to actually approach that when we end up doing it. Because I don't want to make you guys watch the first season because
I mean, you
my
could
reaction
give us.
to the first episode of the
Okay.
show was if the entire show is like this, I will hate it.
I have an idea for when we inevitably do the JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. We have the first.
Inevitably.
We have the podcast where you explain to us the first 2 seasons as a synopsis, and then
you
we
watch the
start
third
season 3 because you've said
Okay,
it's good.
Okay.
You'll
No,
still be
that-
lost.
That would actually
That's fine.
work.
That's fine.
'cause I
You,
could-
you could probably watch the first 2 seasons, still be lost.
That's fine.
You absolutely could. I think if you have somebody explaining it to you, it'd probably
So we'll
be
give
better.
Comfy a couple weeks, maybe 1 week, maybe 2 weeks for him to like
Dude, I could do it right now. if you
wrap
needed
his
me
little
to. Are you kidding
brain
me?
around making a synopsis for the first 2 seasons of
No, I
JoJo's.
demand a full presentation, Comfy.
Get us a fucking
I'll have a-
PowerPoint.
I'll
I-
have a PowerPoint.
If you make a PowerPoint, I will actually just watch your stream the whole time, and that'll be the YouTube video. I will full
Make a
screen your ass.
PowerPoint? I didn't expect the Third Reich to be here. That's a meme from JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. I
It
promise.
is, yeah.
Ugh,
Now,
God.
Dale, you had an idea about what show. To watch.
Yes.
Oh,
I was
yes,
listening back to the last
did.
couple episodes of the podcast, and I remember I completely didn't catch it at the time or like completely forgot about it. But you guys were talking about what is the name of the series, the genre where Idol show. There was a zombie idol show
Oh yes,
where they
the
ended
zombie-
up being
I
a zombie
watched this show.
metal band, and that sounds cool as shit to me. Not gonna lie,
Okay,
I love heavy metal.
I
so.
need to find the opening scene to this show so we can watch it on my stream and you can see why I think this show is amazing. What's the show called again? I forget.
That was the thing you were hoping you remembered.
I do not know.
Okay, well, I found the scene. Zombieland Saga is what it's called here.
Okay.
Yep, that sounds about right.
All right,
All right, we're watching this.
this is the scene that we need to watch.
I can't hear the stuff though.
You don't really need to hear it. You just need to
Right.
watch it.
I'm watching.
You'll get why I love this show immediately. It's so good.
Well, okay. So
Oh, it's just so immediately Truck Chan. No.
all right. No, not the wrong. Hold on. I hit the wrong buttons, chat. Anyway. I have often thought how hilarious it would be. Like, is it weird that whenever I'm watching a TV show and stuff like that, I just want randomly people to get hit by a truck?
No.
Just as like a twist, because I'm bored. It's like, what a twist! Like in Mean Girls does it, where what's your face gets hit by a fucking bus.
He gets hit by
Like
a
it's
bus.
like, oh my, hello.
Oh, good lord. Here, let's play them. That's the opening scene to the show. That's the very first scene.
Yeah.
Is like they're freaking out. They're like, she's like, I'm going to school. I'm gonna go to high school. I'm gonna be the girl I want to be. Bye, everybody. And then she just gets slammed. Like, and it shows you like 8 views, and then the like. There's no waifus in this show because they're all zombies. Instead, you just have the guy who's like running the show and who has like no charisma whatsoever, but he's really good at applying makeup to people. It's a very funny show.
Yeah,
And they have an 8-mile rap battle in the second episode. So
yeah, I remember you mentioning that and how they accidentally become a heavy metal band, and that sounds fun to me. I'm not gonna lie.
It's an entertaining show for sure. I think that it'll be a fun one, and I can put together my JoJo's Bizarre Adventure presentation over the next week.
All right, that might end up being a very long show, because if we cover that show, the next episode of Fairy Gone, and JoJo.
Oh, don't
That
worry.
might be a long one.
We can just like. Well, next week I don't think we're really gonna have anything to talk about after the like anime, because like this week we have stuff to yell about after the anime. We have a lot of stuff to talk about after the anime stuff ends. Oh, I have a lot of stuff to talk about.
Do you?
Dauntless, ESO, the raid.
Welcome to the free to play week. The free to play week. The season of opulence is coming. Guardian Con Marathon. There's a lot of stuff I want to talk about.
Oh
Yeah,
fuck,
there's
yeah.
a bunch
some
of stuff
cool
leading
shit.
in.
There's a bunch of stuff that happened this week, but like over the course of the next week, like is kind of going to be a dead zone.
Gotcha.
Maybe.
Like,
You never know. Maybe we'll get
I
like
highly
8 sleeper
doubt that
hits.
2 AAA quality free-to-play games are going to come out. I don't think Guardian Con is going to announce another marathon that will have just finished by the time that we're recording.
They
or it'll be
won't
on,
have a
like, its last
marathon
legs.
announced, but Broman and Goth have stated that there are more announcements coming
announcements this week.
for Guardian Con coming as soon as they're able to. They're trying to get stuff out a month ahead of time.
Yeah.
So because we do the show on Sundays, we're going to be past that point come our next show. So we may have a bunch of Guardian Con stuff to talk about next week.
We'll see. We'll cross that bridge when we get to it.
Yeah.
But so that's like I can probably put together I could make it work next week. Don't worry about that. But so as for this week, we don't recommend Fairy Gone yet, but does that end the anime portion of the podcast? Or do we have anything else? Like, have you guys
I'd say
been
right
watching
now
anything you wanna yell at it?
an interesting enough show if you have nothing else to watch. It's not a 100%, recommend. It's not a don't watch like the Fox show.
If you need
It's
something,
just
if you're bored,
if you have
sure,
something,
I guess
it's
it might
an
get
enjoyable enough show. Like it
If
might hook
it's
you, right? Like that's the thing. It might hook you. It's nice looking.
yeah.
The stories are fine. It's not overly convoluted.
If it's your kind of flavor, go for the ice cream. But if you don't like pistachio, stay away.
Then
Like,
I'd give it some time. Wait to see if it does get better. If it, from our recommendation, if it does, then the first couple episodes may not hook you completely, but it's going to pick up from there. Like that's a possibility for shows. But if we're going to go on to game talk, do you guys want to talk about Splitgate first? Because I got to put the dog out and I haven't played it. So
okay,
sure. And Splitgate, I also think will be a shorter conversation, so you
probably,
can go.
This is why I said no.
There's not as much to talk about, but I do definitely want to get to it. So this week was the week that all of the game developers decided to release their super high quality free to play games for everybody to play.
Is there more than 2? I can only think of 2.
It's only really 2, but like to be fair, like these are both games that we've heard about for a while. They're both free to play and they're both AAA quality.
Yeah.
One of them being Splitgate from 1047 Games. I don't know any other games that they have made.
I don't know if I would call that AAA quality either, but it's still fun. It's still very fun. It looks pretty good.
Very clean. Very clean. That's basically if a game comes out and it's not having like monumental issues, I'm putting it up there. Like, so they released Splitgate. It's literally Halo Combat Evolved, or closer to like, it's all the best guns from Halo, I think is just the easier way to put it, because you have the pistol with the zoom, you have the assault rifle, you have the battle rifle, you have the SMG, you have the rocket launcher, you have the sniper, you have a Spartan laser, but it's called a railgun, but it's not a railgun, it's just a Spartan laser.
Right. No, it's fun. It's fun. I had a fun time with it.
It's fast paced. It plays exactly like Halo. It has the same voice lines as Halo with just a different voice actor, which I thought was hilarious. Then they add jetpacks and portals to it. We were playing some competitive last night, and it was really, really fun. The way that you can actually maneuver around that map is insane. And the way that you can use portals to your advantage is crazy. And I cannot wait to see if people build a pro scene for it, because it's really interesting. But I really enjoyed playing Splitgate. I got a bunch of no scopes with snipers. We were running around doing shotgun memes. Like, it's just a fun, good time, and it's free to play on Steam. It's super small. It's not very taxing. So I recommend trying it. Kids.
Okay. I played it for a few hours the other night. And I played one more game like 3 times. So it was fun. I had a fun time with it. There's a lot to learn.
Oh yeah.
And I'm kind of, I don't know, I didn't do terrible at it. I did okay.
The map knowledge is definitely something we need to work on.
Yes.
That was something that kept getting us killed, because we didn't know where the portals were placed. Because like there's one map, a lot of these maps are also like designed off of Halo maps. So like there's a map that's designed off a Halo Reach map that was called Sword Base. There's a map that's designed off a Halo 3 map, which is Guardian.
Were they? I didn't catch that. I didn't catch that.
Oh man, like it's not like, hey, this is Guardian, or hey, this is Sword Base. But if you look at the map and the way it's designed, it's very clearly, like, I can show it to you. It's very funny. But so, like, I was talking to Red about it. I was like, this map is Guardian. And he was like, this map is Guardian. You're right. So, but we were playing on some of those. And, like, the Guardian map has a bunch of walls on the outside of it that you can shoot portals into. And we were just getting pinned down because somebody was sitting in a room and we didn't know where, and they were shooting through their portal. Just sniping everybody across the map, because they just set portals everywhere around and they were just sniping through the portals.
Fun.
It's incredible. It's just a super fun, high intense action game. But,
yeah, I will probably play it more. I have a lot. Like I've finally narrowed it down to like 4 or so games that I'm going to keep in rotation for a while. And then Splitgate happened. So now it's like, fuck.
Yeah, no, I'm definitely gonna add Splitgate. I think it'll be a really good like community night game, because it's free to play, it's fun, and we can get like 8 people in and just like I played with the custom game settings a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
Like when we were playing when it first came out, I was like, "Hey, Red, we're gonna play customs." He's like, "Cool." I'm like, "We're gonna play Doom." So the only weapons that you have are rocket launchers and shotguns. So you either had to get right next to somebody or 10 feet away from somebody, and that was a very fun way to play it. And we played that, and we did that for like half an hour, and then continued going on and doing other things. But Splitgate wasn't the only game that came out this week that was free to play that we're adding to our rotations.
No, we also have Dauntless, which is the bigger of the two to talk about because
Yeah,
Really
one,
good.
Splash.
one, it is on the Epic launcher, which is an interesting movement because previously it wasn't going through Epic. And in fact, if you had it installed on your desktop previously, which I did, when the game officially launched, you actually had to go and get it through the Epic launcher. Like it would actually prompt you, which is interesting, but understandable. Especially if they do end up getting support from Epic, which
they are
might.
because
Yeah.
they're doing cross-platform.
Yes, so
Which
they
is what
have
Epic is helping them with. Epic is the I'm trying to think of like the right wording for it.
So as most people know, Epic
1 second,
has
guys.
been pushing.
1 sec. Red, thank you very much for coming in with that host. We got hosted by my good friend Red Nolas. Hi, all of you guys. Welcome. We are currently recording the 2.5 Weebs podcast, which is a podcast we record weekly. We are not. I'm not interactive with my chat nearly as much while we are recording this podcast. I appreciate you all.
We're gonna cut this part out. Hey, while you did
maybe.
that, hey Stabby Tulip, thank you for the host.
I
We are
probably
currently
won't cut it out.
recording the
It'll be
2.5
fine.
Weebs podcast, so we're not going to be interacting with chat a whole lot, but we do know that you guys are there and we appreciate you.
Yes, 100% what he said. My Hero Academia. We covered My Hero Academia months and
Before it
months
was a
ago, Ryan.
podcast.
I didn't
Yeah,
Before
it
really.
was a
on the
long while ago.
podcast.
We covered that one.
Not a huge
it's
My
a
Hero
recommend.
fan.
Dale was not a huge fan. Me and Comfy love it. Go watch it.
I love it. It's on my list of like shows that
it's
I
okay.
watch regularly.
This
And I'm
is
waiting
one of the
for
times
next
you don't listen to the Weeblet. Go watch that show.
Yeah. Okay.
season. It's a very well done and good show, and it's blowing up in the West for a reason.
Okay. Anyway, back to Dauntless things.
So
Dauntless is free to play Monster Hunter.
Yes, it's very fun too.
So it launched in Epic, and everybody knows Epic's been a big push for cross-platform and cross-save for everybody because it's a thing that is frankly good for consumers.
Very good for consumers. I'm
So,
glad
which
that
is-
more people are.
Which is not something you normally would see a publisher who, push for, but because Epic being who they are, with the fact that a lot of their money comes not just from Fortnite, but from their engine that everybody tends to use,
Yes.
cross-platform doesn't hurt them, right? It kind of helps, especially since they've set it up so that their engine makes cross-platform and cross-save very easy to do.
And just for reference, I was playing with my friend who she plays almost exclusively on Xbox for the ease of access, and it was impossible to tell the difference between me and her. Crossplay was flawless.
Yes,
you
it's super
cannot-
good.
Unless
Super
you look
good.
at someone's name, because everybody's name will have a little icon about where they're at, PlayStation, Xbox, or PC next to it. You can't tell just from gameplay, which is cool. So the game itself, as the guys mentioned, is basically Monster Hunter in a more arcade form. So
It's much less serious, more arcadey.
yeah, very arcadey.
The style is it's the new style of video games where everything is soft but hard edges. You know what I mean? Like
it's got a very bright color palette.
it's
Everything
the,
is
it's
very.
the Fortnite style.
That's a
I
good
hate to
way
call
of
it that.
describing it. Actually, I like that.
It's
What?
soft but hard edges.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
well, that's what the new style is, and like
I don't
Fortnite
pay
is
attention to
the
art
people who
styles. I even
pioneered
know.
it, but Fortnite is the people who popularized it.
yeah,
Yep.
it
Gotcha.
wasn't directly from. There are other games that did it, but
Mhm.
Fortnite really blew up with it, and that's what people think of when they see that style now.
Yeah.
Hopefully, that's not going to be strictly the case with Dauntless getting a lot of attention. So much attention that they are having server problem just because there's so many people getting into the game.
I tried to play it the second day it was out because I was at work the first day.
Mm.
Second day it was out, I had a 3+ hour queue and never got in. Third day, I had a 3+ hour queue in the morning, never got in. Fourth day, on the fourth day, I was able to get in.
Now, they have solved a lot of the queuing issue. The queues
Yes.
are now down to like 5 minutes, if that.
Yeah, no,
for most people.
max I've waited was 10 minutes,
So
and
the
even
queuing
then,
is-
it's literally just waiting.
yeah, the queuing is much, much better now. Once you're in, you're in. They are still working on increasing servers because there's more and more people getting into the game. Basically, they knew what their population was before they launched the game, and then once it launched, once people basically started spreading word, like, hey, this game is now free to play
And it's out
everywhere. It's out. You can play it on consoles as well as PC, where before it was just PC.
Well, also, like,
Yeah.
that's not the only reason. Like,
So
also, Monster Hunter as a Monster Hunter World took the world by storm. It was massively popular, the most popular Monster Hunter game to date.
it's the most
super
it's
good too.
More than that, Comfy. It's the most popular and most successful Capcom game to date.
I didn't know that part. I knew
That's
that it was.
impressive.
I knew that it was the best Monster Hunter game to date.
So, yeah, that's how good
Monster Hunter World
best-selling title.
exploded because it was the first one on console. It was my first Monster Hunter game, and I fell in love with it. I've gone all the way through like HR 50. I didn't get further than that because I'm a loser, but
I
I still want to go back and play more Monster Hunter. Monster Hunter World is
same. It's a great game.
If you have played Dauntless, we do recommend Dauntless. But if you've already played it and you like Dauntless, but you want a little more depth and you don't mind paying for something, go buy Monster Hunter World.
Super good.
Yeah.
There's more to it. It's more complicated. It's less casual.
Monster Hunter World is in a lull right now for content.
Yes, they're in a lull. More importantly, though, they're actually gearing up
for Iceborne
marketing. So they're getting people who are into this style of game hyped because they have a big DLC coming out at the end of the year.
Yeah,
so,
but this Dauntless pulled in, and they pulled a Division 1 where all of the Destiny players had the Taken King, and they were super happy with it.
Yeah.
And then it's about 6 months later, they're fatigued from having no new content, and this other awesome company comes out and says, we got a game just like the one that you've been playing constantly, but it's over here. And everybody jumped ship and played the Division.
Yeah.
Everybody. And it was a fun game. Division is a great game.
Now, I think Dauntless is going to stick around more than Division 1 did for a lot of people.
Oh, absolutely. Well, Division 1 had a lot of problems on launch, and it was very clearly you play to the end, and then you're done. Even though it was trying to be...
they were supposed to be grind there, but unfortunately for Division 1, when it launched, by the time everybody got through the story in that, they hadn't launched their endgame plans yet. Because when you deal with a player base of that sort, you have to launch your game with your endgame plans already in place.
Exactly.
Because your player base will grind right through it and get right to it.
Yeah.
The good thing about Monster Hunter and Dauntless, though, is that the gameplay loop itself is the grind, right? From the get-go. You're grinding out armor, you're grinding out different weapons, and there's 5 or 6 different weapons in Dauntless.
There are 6, including the pistols.
Oh, yeah. There's 5 melee.
Five melee weapons, and the pistols, which we are slowly figuring out are the best support weapon in the game.
Yes.
Oh, yeah. Super fun.
So there's 6 weapons to choose from in Dauntless. There's even more in Monster Hunter.
There's like 13 or 14 in Monster Hunter, right?
I think there's 14 in Monster Hunter. I can pull up a list really quick.
To give you an idea of how many weapons there are for each of those types, though, there's one for every single monster in the game, both games, as well as an armor set for every single monster in the game for both games. And you can mix and match armor stuff together as you want. There are in Monster Hunter.
In Monster Hunter, there is the Great Sword, Sword and Shield, Dual Blades, Long Sword, Hammer, Hunting Horn, which is basically a giant bagpipe, the Lance, the Gun Lance, the Switch Axe, the Charge Blade, the Insect Glaive, the Bow, the Light Bowgun, and the Heavy Bowgun. That is 14 weapons.
Yes. Now,
and then Dauntless has the Axe, the Chain Blades, the War Pike, the Great Sword, and the Hammer. and then the pistols.
Now, for those thinking, well, Monster Hunter has more. One, Dauntless just launched. And two, Dauntless
the
is
fighting
also
styles are very different.
they're very different, and Dauntless is also new. Monster Hunter has been a title for a very long time, and it didn't always have all of those different weapon types. Those have actually been added over time. So I expect Dauntless to get more weapon types in the future because they have added, since the game first went into beta, they've actually added 2 weapon types to the game already. So that's pretty good. Good indication. They've added a lot more monsters, things like that. But yeah, you've got weapons for each one to grind. You've got armor for each one to grind. There are mods to get on your weapons. There are basically like enchantments to put on your weapons. There's consumable stuff. There are a bunch of achievements in game that you go through and get.
Yeah, there's a lot to do, and they make it very easy as well.
Yeah, and like to get like here's the thing to do, so you can just go and do it. Like it's not obtuse at all. It's very easy to look through. The UI is great. The gameplay loops are great.
I love Monster Hunter World, but like learning the UI in that game is
oh my god, it's there's
the UI in Monster Hunter is in Monster Hunter World. The UI is much better than previous Monster World titles.
I've tried playing previous Monster Hunter titles on like the
Monster
3DS and the Switch, and man,
Monster Hunter was a very, very obtuse game up until World. World streamlined a lot of things, and it's very difficult to go back to the other games because of it. But they're still good.
Yeah, no, I mean, it's kind of like Destiny 2 and Destiny 1. Like Destiny 1 had a lot of issues. And Destiny 2, if you actually play it now and then go back to Destiny 1, you're like, wow, this game has a lot of issues, and it makes my life very, very difficult.
Like,
and then, yeah, like no mantling is the big one that like you go back and you're like, how did I live without this? And like the no auto reload on hunter dodge and every hunter having dodge, like how did I live without this? Because you're progressing forward and you're not really realizing all of the things that you're getting until you're done.
Yeah, it's the small
the small things.
Yeah,
and like ghosts
people like to put on nostalgia glasses though, and a lot of times they'll completely forget.
Rose-colored glasses are a big problem. That's one of there's a couple of games that I have played that I've like looked at it and been like, wow, this game is really not great. And then you have all of these people that are like, this is the best game ever. I'm like, if you look at it objectively, it's not a good game. It's like, no, it's still a good game. I'm not going to talk specifically about the game I'm talking about, but I've ranted enough.
Yeah, so Dauntless has a lot of stuff to chew through right now for people who are new to it, or haven't played it in a long while. It is also free. You can play.
I've enjoyed every weapon that I've played with so far in varying ways.
Yeah, I even I didn't enjoy the pistols in a sense where it felt kind of like you just.
I don't like playing support, so I don't like the pistols. But if you like to play support, you like to play healers and MMO stuff like that, you're probably going to enjoy them. Our buddy Red really loves them, and that's the thing he likes to do.
I'm a big fan of spears, so I've been using.
I'm a huge fan of the war pike.
The war pike is very, very fun. I'm super stabby with it.
I still haven't found the one thing where I'm like, yep, this is it for me.
The war pike and the chain axes I really like. The sword I'm meh with. The axe is not my style, but I understand how to use it. And when you pull it off, it's very funny.
I've got to try the axe because I main great sword Monster Hunter World.
The axe is only really good against slow monsters because the way that it works is you need to do a charge attack and then a rebound attack and then another charge attack and then you get a combo. Then you get a combo that just constantly resets where you are just chopping away at the monster.
You don't even have to hold for that. You can just left click or light attack a bunch of times, and you'll hit the constant swing. It does help to put the heavy charge though.
But like once you get that, like you deal lots of damage once you hit that. But it takes so much lead up to get there. That's why I was very happy when Red was doing the like, here's your damage, here's your attack speed, because it changes the charge time with the action being boom, boom, boom to just being bump, 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 and then you swing. It's like immediate as opposed to 8 years in the future.
Yeah, so Dauntless very much a recommend if you haven't tried it and you want to try out something that's the only thing you've got to lose is a little bit of your time. If you end up not liking the game because it's free, go right ahead. If you end up wanting to support the game, It has a excellent monetization system. It uses the battle pass system.
I love the battle pass system.
And if you buy it through the Epic Game Store, you can use my Epic creator code.
Red no less.
No. Please don't give away Red's code on my channel.
Is yours still a comfy gamer on Epic?
No, it's a _comfy_.
The underscore.
Because
oh my God.
Epic won't respond to my emails. I sent another email yesterday as well.
Okay.
So like, hopefully, like
I hope you finally get sent to someone.
I have seen Laserbeam. He's an Australian Fortnite YouTuber. He has changed his Epic creator code like 5 times in 4 months.
Jesus.
And I cannot get mine to change for the life of me. I'm trying so hard. It's so annoying.
Yeah,
but
so,
there's nothing I can do. So
yeah, for anybody who wants to give it a go right ahead. The battle pass, if you do end up wanting to buy it, I think it's only like $10. Like, it's super cheap.
It's not bad. It's not a battle pass. It's like a hunting pass, is what they call it. But it's the same exact concept where as you level up through the game, you get free stuff, or if you pay for the pass, you get
more free stuff. Yeah, and it's all cosmetics. Free, it's all cosmetic stuff too. It's not. There's
it's
no.
It's not.
Like,
all
no one's
cosmetic.
buying. Well, no one's paying to win basically in that game.
Yeah, but there is, like, just because I know, like, if you say it's all cosmetic and people see something that's not cosmetic in there, they will immediately be like, but Copper told us. So
yeah.
There is like premium currencies that you get regularly through upgrading through the battle pass, but you do get more. It kind of like the way that V-Bucks work in Fortnite, where if you play and you have the battle pass, you get V-Bucks for free, and you'll eventually have enough to buy it. But you also get your ace chips and your other premium currencies, which I don't know all the currencies that they have yet, but I know that there's more than
you basically earn stuff to buy cosmetics with from the battle pass, or get direct cosmetics from it. Like, that's all it is. There's no, you don't get weapons and armors from it. You're not getting power.
Yeah, you're not. So, it's not Korean Destiny. You're not getting like actual gear from.
That's why I say, when I say it's all cosmetic, there's nothing you get there that's going to affect like how good you are at the game, because that's on you.
The only thing,
it'll make you look good.
The ace chips are used to upgrade mods, but that's it. And it's literally just used to like upgrade them faster, kind of like Warframe.
Yeah, it's that doesn't matter, because you earn mods by playing the game, so you earn better ones by getting farther in the game, so it's not a big deal. So that was out. Again, good recommend for that one. We had the Destiny announcement for World's First,
which I'm very excited about. So basically, what they're doing for this one, because the last couple Destiny World's First races have been kind of clusterfucks. So the last Wish race gave you 2 weeks to farm up your light level and then attempt the raid. The first room was at 540. The luckiest teams were at 550 going in, and the unlucky teams were at 520. And it's literally just your RNG for drops. So that was negative, and people were like, this is kind of dumb. And Bungie was like, you got it. We're going to lower the time period that you have and lower the like amount that you need to go, so it's a little better. Then the Scourge raid came out, which is a fun raid, but one of the teams, the I don't know what we would call them, the boys, like King Cathalion, Professor Broman, Char, Rebel Eyes, Gunny, like they got screwed over because they got DDoSed.
Yep.
To hell. Rough. Like Goth had to turn on a second router. They had to change their IP addresses. Like after it was really.
Broman was streaming through, like playing through his phone.
He was playing on his phone hotspot. Like
it was that bad. It was, and really they still got to the loss first.
And also, you have players like an unnamed player that I'm not going to name because he's a bad person. We don't want to support him in the community, who basically was like, I'm going to hold 20 etheric keys and then just open them all up week 1, and was already max level before the raid even dropped. So, and he still didn't get first because he was kicked off of Redeem. So... but so that was kind of a clusterfuck. So what they're doing for this one, which is way, way better, and everybody's happy, nobody's mad about it, is they are locking light levels in the raid. The raid comes out 6 hours after the DLC drops or the new season drops, because I can't call it a DLC.
No, it's a new season. Yeah.
It comes out 6 hours after the new raid drops. I'm sorry, new DLC drops.
New content
New
drops.
season drops. Oh my god.
After new content drops,
Bro.
6 hours later, the raid opens up.
The raid opens up. And the thing that they're doing super good, they're locking all the old raids. Not all the old raids. They're locking Scourge and Last Wish. So you can't use those to farm up keys or farm up extra armor and stuff. And the big thing that they're doing that everybody's really excited about is they're locking light levels going into the raid. So you could be max light level, but you will be deltaed so that you are 700 light in the first encounter and 720 in the last encounter.
Yeah.
And
I don't think
any
there's a way
light
to
you have
get
above that means
that
nothing.
Yes.
Okay.
So basically, if you can get to 716, you are going to be on the proper delta scale for every encounter, including the last one. Which, if you're lucky, even just an adequate amount of luck, you should be able to do in
It's
6
very
hours. If you're planning to do the world's first race, and thus probably have the day off, because you're going to need to take the day off to do it.
I will not. I've never been one for blind raids. I don't have that brain where I just want to throw my head at puzzles until I figure them out.
See, I'm the opposite. I love that.
I don't dislike
adore
puzzles, but I don't know. I don't know if you know this. Sometimes I get salty and I just don't want to do that. So I don't.
I
don't do blind raids because of it.
I have too much work to do to get ready for a raid race. So,
yeah, no, we have 2 teams going up. The sub-op team 1, which is going to be myself, Red Nolus, Brofish, then Tropical Shark, Pingu, and Cephs. We're going to be going in blind the moment it opens up, and we're going to be aiming for probably not world's first, but world's most recent.
Yeah.
I'd love to get world's first, but the goal is to get the raid jackets.
Which is is the first 24 hours or the first week?
They've changed it. We're gonna get that information this week in the TWAB. Okay. For Last Wish, it was the first 24 hours. For Scourge of the Past, it was before reset. Right. So I don't know how they're gonna be doing this one.
If this one's before reset.
If this is before reset, it'll be very easy. If it's first 24 hours, then we're just gonna bang our heads into it because we'll be able to do it.
If this one is 24 hours, I'm just gonna leave it alone. If it's before reset, I'm gonna be harassing you in red to carry my ass raid.
I mean, I'll try to as well. I probably wouldn't buy the jacket, but I don't know.
I might just for display purposes.
That would be the reason that I want it, but it's probably gonna be like what, $100 over dollars. I don't know. Yeah.
The previous one was like $150.
Yeah. See, I couldn't do that.
I still don't have my tracking information for it though. So hey.
Oh no.
Soon is when I get it. Remember Niobe Labs and people who were sick in Discord were trying to help? Never forget.
Yeah. Niobe was a cluster.
Yeah.
I'm excited for the raid. I'm curious to see how they're gonna end it and what they're gonna do for Season of Opulence. Because they've named it the Season of Opulence. People were kind of, meh about the last season. Because
I'm excited. I'm gonna definitely want
the new Gambit mode is great, but the whole thing revolving around Gambit, not so much.
Not so great. I'm ready to swing back around towards more Destiny. Usually, we are supposed to be twice a week now, and I need more of it.
We are supposed to be getting a new activity.
Oh, besides the raid?
Okay. 1 second. I want to pull up the annual pass Destiny 2 roadmap. Because I want to pull up exactly what the annual pass says for Season of Opulence.
Yep.
So Season of the Blank we get an exotic quest, Solstice of Heroes, power increase, new vanity rewards, new rank rewards, Iron Banners coming back, new Triumph and lore books. And then the new annual pass content, we're getting new weapons and gear, 2 redacteds.
Which are probably exotic stuff,
I would assume one of them is exotic. We're getting 2 redacteds, a new raid, new Triumph and lore books, and a new 6-player match-made activity.
Yes.
Yeah, we don't know what it is yet. And that's for this season?
We don't know what it is. Yes.
That's for this upcoming season. That's
Oh,
going to
cool.
be very soon. And so that's going to be fun.
All right, cool.
then-
Stuff to look forward to.
And then also, wait, do you have something?
No, I was gonna move on.
So we should find out what the new activity is soon.
This week we get
Yeah,
information.
so-
on it. This week in the TWAB we get information on buffs. We get information on things we can do and things we will be doing and all that
Yep.
fun stuff. So
So-
I'm
Nice.
excited for this week because it's going to give us all the information
Mm-hmm.
and basically tell us like, hey, game is good, game is bad, and it's going to either put people at rest or put people up in arms.
We'll see.
It's Destiny. There'll be people up in arms regardless of what they.
Yeah, it doesn't.
Yeah, but it's going to be either up in arms because the Whisper isn't being moved to special slot, or it's going to be up in arms because the buffs that are coming are to sweet business and all it does is make it cycle faster. Like
Be prepared to be salty about the Whisper because it's not moving to special.
I know, but that I'm saying that's the better case scenario.
Yes.
Like that's the better case scenario is people that's the only thing that they're mad about.
And
I mean,
be
it still
prepared
hits like an
for-
anti-tank rifle, so you don't need to do that.
Be prepared for people to be salty because one of the new exotics coming in, over possible 2, is going to be a hand cannon. Because we need more hand cannons.
Oh yeah, we do.
Yeah, Hawkmoon is
That's
we-
sarcasm for anybody who's
that.
who's listening to this and
We've
don't
talked
realize
about it like several times. How there's like 82
So-
hand cannons, and that's
Yeah.
about it.
Why would you destroy my gate, Colossus? You dumb, stupid idiot.
Also, you know what else is really fun, Comfy? When you're playing Mordhau with Copper and he purposely joins the other team to literally stream snipe you, and then you cut his head off and you kick it around
like a soccer ball.
like a soccer
Yeah.
ball. That's really fun.
Mordhau, because I don't think we've had a chance to talk about that yet because we
Yeah, we can
We
briefly
did.
touch on it. Yeah, it's
Um,
like a sword fight PvP game, and it's lots of fun.
Yeah, if you've ever played,
It's
like,
better
something like-
chivalry.
yeah, it's.
Better.
I think it's
chivalry.
made from guys who like either worked or like
It
are
has
pros
to
from
be.
Chivalry.
It
Like,
has to be. It's
like,
way
it's-
too similar.
These people are
to
guys.
Lappy.
These are guys who knew what they were doing. It's
Yes.
a great game. It's not free.
No.
It's on. It's on
It's about
Steam.
$30.
It's about
is
$30.
$30.
It's very cheap, especially for the amount of content. It's got a battle morale mode into it. It's got a horde mode in it. Think like COD Zombies.
I
And
love COD Zombies. If anybody knows anything
I think
about
if you
me.
keep going into it, it starts like putting giants or something stupid in it. Like it gets weird at the end, like towards the end of the horde mode.
I like that.
I want to
like
play
that.
the horde
And-
mode.
I heard
I'll,
like
I'll try it.
there's one.
Are you gonna get it, Comfy? We need to play it.
I'm not gonna buy it, but both Fatal and Red own it, and they both share their Steam libraries with me. So
Yeah,
as long as
so-
one of them isn't playing on Steam, I can play it.
Yeah, Comfy can jump in.
Cool.
And I'm sure if I asked nicely, anyways, like Fatal could be like, "I'll play Destiny today," or Red will be like, "I'll play like Dauntless today." Like,
Yeah.
there's enough games on enough launchers that I'm not worried about finding
Yep.
time to be able to play it.
But
Yeah, so
Epic
that's,
launcher, man.
I've already decided that I'm gonna be a loot main, and I'm just gonna walk around playing songs.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
I saw the bot. I'm gonna have to download the bot and edit it and figure out the MIDI stuff.
Yeah,
But
so
it'll
if
be-
you were into things like if you liked For Honor, if you liked Chivalry, definitely give this one a look. It's very fun. You can have a lot of people on either side. The Horde mode supports up to like 64 players in it.
Ooh, really?
Yeah, it's not like 3 or 4. It's like
Oh
a huge
my.
number of players can join a Horde server. Like,
That's
it's-
fun.
That's insane.
It definitely looks like a fun game.
I
But
enjoy
yeah,
it.
I'm trying to think if there's anything else I was playing this week, but I started playing
Um,
Ghost Recon Wildlands in preparation
yeah?
of the new Ghost Recon Breakpoint.
How-
Well,
how's
that's
that?
fun.
Wildlands is good. It's
I never
third
played
person
it.
Far Cry. It's
Yeah.
third person Far Cry. Did you get it for free with Division 2?
You know, they made it take like 2 steps to figure out how to do it, and I was never bothered to, and I didn't care enough. So I
It's
never
actually
did.
a really fun game.
I'm sure it is. I'm sure it's good, but like I'm probably not ever gonna care to play it. Really, I'm not gonna lie.
If it ever goes on
also-
sale, we should probably
I
grab
also
it for
lost my
deal.
PlayStation controller, so I can't play Persona,
Oof.
Aw,
which is real sad because I'm the only person in my household with a PlayStation. I was the only person with a PlayStation controller, and I really like the PlayStation controller.
ah.
But I'll find it eventually.
Hmm.
And then I think we're about ready to wrap up.
Mm-hmm. So do you
the
got?
other thing
I have
Next-
one more thing I want to throw out.
Yeah.
Well, there is
what's up?
one other thing we dived into on mine and Dale's end, which is
Oh yeah,
ESO.
we dabbled in a
Ooh,
little
you
bit
guys been
ESO.
playing
Gonna
ESO?
keep dabbling in ESO for a bit. Comfy, you've talked about like an ESO. We should play
I
together.
played ESO on launch. It was a game that I played the beta for and was ready for it the day it came out. I really quickly want to point out that in my Magic game, I have a 20/20 on the board and 83 health, and I
Oh
can't
my god.
lose.
Well done.
And the guy has 2 health. I just wanted to throw that out there.
Comfy's
But
bullying
uh,
people.
I am bullying. I actually probably could have bullied a little harder and thrown out the Deafening Clarion and made it all healing, so that I would have gotten 36 health on top of that. But I decided to not be mean. But so yeah, I like ESO. I like its control scheme and combat more than any other MMO because every other MMO has the same control scheme.
The same tab. I hate tab targeting.
I don't like
in
tab
MMOs.
targeting either.
It's all tab targeting. I understand it. I'm okay with it. I prefer to play without it. So
Yeah.
like I've played WoW. I've been fine with WoW. I like dungeons in WoW. I've never raided in WoW.
I couldn't get past the art in game. Wow.
I get it. I started Final Fantasy 14 last week. I'm a cat girl, meow. And I shoot arrows. I'm literally Xenon. Oh man, it's great. But I didn't realize that until just now. It's a Sword Art Online character.
Oh, okay. But yeah, no, if you want to like, do you have it on PC?
I need to reinstall it. Yeah.
Yeah,
I have
if
it
you
on-
want to.
Very fun game.
Comfy, we don't play video games together all that much. We
I
should.
paid for a subscription to ESO. That's how long ago I played it. I played it when it was pay to play, and I was willing to pay that much.
Well, currently it's for those who are interested in looking at ESO and curious. It is a for purchase game.
It's a for purchase game, but there's no subscription service anymore.
There is an
a
optional subscription service.
There is not a
Optional.
mandatory
It's not
subscription
required.
service. There is an optional subscription service which gets you perks,
Bunch of cool shit.
basically, such as like an unlimited crafting bag, so you can store as much crafting materials as you want.
It gives you crowns with your in-game
and
currency.
it gives you premium in-game currency for every time you have a subscription. It gives you like 1,600, so you can just go buy cosmetics.
That fucking
They basically
crafting
give
bag,
you an
though. Holy
allowance
crap.
every month. It's kind of hilarious.
Yeah, it's like here's an allowance of cosmetic stuff to go buy, which is
You know,
if
you know.
look at
Listen,
the
a lot of
purchase
that,
price
a
for
lot of the
crowns,
stuff you get
it's
from the
about
crowns.
the cost of the actual thing.
Not all cosmetic. There's very useful things you can get. You know what I bought with
There
some
are.
crowns earlier today? I bought some experience boosters.
But most of them
Nice.
are more expensive than what their allowance is. Generally speaking, the amount of crowns they give you, which is about 1,600, will buy you most of the like a cosmetic thing. But you also get the crafting bag, which is extremely useful.
Yes.
And if you're a new player and you're leveling, it gives you a 10% experience bonus as well, which is kind of nice. As well as a couple like other things they kind of throw in there.
All right.
But yeah, game's super fun.
Yeah, we've
What
been
was
trying
it
out
you
a lot
wanted
of
to throw
stuff
out
this
there, Comfy?
Yeah, we've been
I just
bouncing
wanna
around a
take
bit
quick
as well.
detour at the end of the day to talk about Guardian Con. And
Yes,
that's what's happening.
yes.
So,
Do it.
Many of you might have heard us talking about Guardian Con a lot. It's the convention that the cool people here are going to be attending in July.
Hearing those jokes are never going to get old.
To be fair,
Definitely
it's
don't make me
so
really
fun.
sad that I'm not actually going. Definitely
Okay,
not
to-
actually sad.
We actually
be
really
fair,
want you there too.
I know.
we do want
I
Dale
really
there,
want to be there
but-
too.
Dale also has something to do now during Guardian
Oh,
Con for one of the
yeah.
people who's running it.
Yes, they will be participating in a separate way. So start next weekend, this upcoming weekend, May 31st through June 2nd, is going to be the Guardian Con Mixer Charity Marathon. If you don't know about it, every year on Twitch they do a Guardian Con Marathon, and this is going to be the first year that they're having an official one on Mixer. And Brofish, Red Nolis, and I were kindly invited to participate. If you look at the schedule, I have it up on my stream right now. Between 4 p.m. and 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on June 1st, Brofish and Team Subop, which is going to consist of me and Red, we're going to be playing games for the Mixer Charity Marathon for Guardian Con. We're going to be doing our best. We'd love if people would come out and support. Don't even just support us. If you can't make it to our time, check out the other awesome streamers. There's a lot of great people on here. Duke of Flukes, great guy. Rocket Bear, awesome guy. Ruffles is going to be in the midnight hours. I suggest you go check him out. Kevin's going to be cleaning up the stream at the end of June 2nd. This is all going to be streamed directly from the Mixer GuardianCon channel at mixer.com/GuardianCon. Everybody who's going to be here is super awesome, and I recommend you check them all out and support their streams when they're doing it. It's for a really good cause. It's all going to benefit St. Jude's Children's Hospital. So even if you can't support it, just watch, share the link, tell your friends, tell your family, tell people who you think would be interested or you think would be able to help support.
Cool.
That's my little spiel at the end. Don't really have anything else. That guy didn't know I had trample. But yeah,
it's going to be an interesting thing. We will probably have more to talk about GuardianCon wise next week.
Yes.
Just because stuff will be having
There will
occurred,
probably be more
and
announcements
so
and stuff.
there's probably going to be announcements and stuff. For those who aren't aware, Dale is actually going to be covering for Kevin while Kevin's away for GuardianCon on Kevin's channel.
From mixer.com/kmagic101.
Yep. It's going to be the potato takeover.
No, it's going to be the Rise of Bald
Takeover.
Kevin. I want that to be the title of these streams. I'm not going to lie.
The
Rise of Bald Kevin.
Rise of Bald Kevin.
Rise of Bald Kevin.
Why isn't it the takeover?
Oh, fuck! That's a good one, too. All right. Well, shit.
I'm having a stroke while trying to say that because I thought of it and I was like, this is funny. Let me say it. And my body is like, no.
Like, that is not a word. Stop that.
See, Comfy's actually good at not talking over people a lot of times, like I am terrible at.
Yeah, so it'll be an interesting time, and then we'll be gearing up to go to Orlando.
Yeah, and I'm going to be there, and I'll be posting online and all the fun things while I'm there. Copper will be there. We're definitely going to have a Super Mario Party at some point.
Now,
I'll be holding down the fort at home.
Anybody who is thinking of going, they are getting low on hotel block.
The original hotel block has already sold out.
There is a new one open. I don't know how many rooms are left in it though, but if you are looking to go to GuardianCon, it is very much recommended to stay on site. Not only because of all the activities that will be going on, both official and unofficial, and the amenities themselves, but it's also because of the block price, very cheap.
It's about half off.
Yeah, it's about a 50% discount if you're looking to book a room.
It is a very good discount. We're buying a room my group is buying a room for a week, and we're spending less than $1,000 for 4 people, which is insanely well priced.
I'm pretty sure they've mentioned that if they sell out this block, that's the hotel.
Yeah.
The whole hotel is sold out. So for that weekend. So if you are thinking going, get your tickets, book your hotel. If you're Addison, get your plane ticket. If you're everybody,
he can't escape it. This is for the reference of the people. Addison posted in the Sub-Op Discord at one point.
He didn't add an E to plan.
He meant to say, "Did you get your plane ticket?" Because I've been very open about the fact that I don't have a plane ticket yet, and I'm planning on buying one very soon. So he posted, "Do you have your plane ticket yet?" And man, that has just taken on a life of its own.
It really has.
It's always amazing how these ridiculous inside jokes, just the ones that stick and the ones that don't. It's like, who knew? All right. Well, anyway.
Sometimes. But so yeah, come check out the GuardianCon marathon. It's gonna be awesome. It's gonna support good people. It's gonna support a children's hospital. There's no reason to not come check it out for 5 minutes, hang out, have a good time, yell at your favorite streamers or your least favorite streamers, because I know I'm gonna be there. So watch me misplay, all that fun stuff. We're gonna and it's gonna be a good time. We're gonna be playing golf with friends. We're gonna be playing Uno. We're gonna be yelling at each other. We're going to be playing games that incentivize us to hate each other. So
have fun.
So I recommend you check it out.
I recommend Monopoly and Diplomacy.
Oh my god!
Next week we are talking. What is this thing? What is this show called? Zombieland
Saga.
Zombieland Saga. We will be discussing the first 3 episodes of.
Coincidentally, the only 3 episodes of that show I've seen.
Oh shit! And then also episode number 8 of Fairy Gone.
Yep.
And then also it will be Comfy's.
I will have a PowerPoint.
Yes,
of
Comfy's gonna have a
the first 2
presentation.
seasons of JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, because the next episode after that will be season 3 of JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, and I will hit
And
my
you're gonna
iPad.
hear a lot of from me. 'Cause
That will be
that's
episode
like
number. That'll be episode number 18. The night. Okay, cool. All right.
Yeah, we're closing in on Comfy's age.
Yeah, we're getting close to 20. 20, I think I want to do something special. We'll discuss it later.
I'm not 20 years old.
You guys.
I turned
said
22 like a week ago.
I know. I said we're closing in on your age. When we get to like episode 45, we'll close in on Dale's.
Fuck you. Where can we find the 22-year-old Comfimus on the internet?
You can find me at mixer.com/Comfimus, Twitter at Comfimus, Instagram at Comfimus, Snapchat at Comfimus, and you can find me on the Epic Games Store using my code _Comfy_gamer.
Comfy, you're one of the people I think who can actually benefit from like the streamer links thing because your thing is all the same.
I know it's all the same exact thing.
You should just go sign up for it. I'm pretty sure it's free.
I'll look into it. I've seen you do work for them. I know they're good boys.
All right.
And girls.
For people who have multiple things like you do.
Hey, Copper, where can people find you?
If you're looking for me, you can find me here on Mixer in various streams, occasionally my own, as Copper Lion. You can find me on Twitter and Instagram at Copper Lion Designs and Copper Lion Art. If you're looking for work, I am kind of booked for the next couple of weeks. So right now, anybody who's putting commissions in, you're looking at next month. Apparently animated stickers have become popular. Who knew?
Who could have guessed? Yeah, I should probably like actually work on getting some of those. I've been getting yelled at that I don't have custom stickers yet.
You get 10 of them.
What?
He doesn't. I
you
know he
did.
doesn't.
Oh, okay.
I meant to do one for Comfy the other day, but I've been busy, and it's difficult to do side project stuff when you're busy.
No, I
people who are
totally
paying
get
you.
it. That's why I'm letting you, like, you have so much on your plate right now with all the Guardian Con people and like
Well,
all
it's
of the
not
just other
so
stuff as
far.
well.
It's not even the Guardian Con people. Like if I look at my to-do list, because I actually have one of those.
Am I on it? Wink.
You're not.
That's a
Drake's
that was
on
a
it.
sexual joke.
Drake is on my to-do list. 'Cause
Ooh.
I gotta finish Drake off, and
I'm sorry.
I know. And there's another large project. So Drake and my other large project are the only two big things that are on it until the start of next month, where we start going in with Nova, because Nova's getting a redone. I've got two other people who are looking to get stuff done as well. Then I got a bunch of people who are looking for emotes and various amounts, like in stickers. So you've got like people like, I want 2, I want 4, I want 11, right? Like, so yeah.
Yep. You know, we did so good last week when we started rapping. We actually rapped, and then
Remember?
we
Well, I mean, Dale, we're waiting on you. Where
yeah,
can
and
people
so
find you?
you can find me at mixer.com.
Mixler. Oh,
Mixer.com/Mr. Vengeance on Twitter and Instagram at _Mr. Vengeance. And that's it. Okay.
And
so cool.
During Guardian Con, you can find him at mixler.com/Kelvin, where he will be portraying Bald Kelvin from Mixler.
Yes, it'll be a good time. All right. Thanks for hanging out. That'll do it for this week's episode of 2.5 Weebs. We'll see you next week. Thanks for listening. Catch you later. Bye.
Back to ESO.